All right, we be live. Hello, everybody. Let me know how my audio is. We're gonna get started very soon. Make sure you like the stream right now. Liking the stream doesn't cost you anything except half a freaking second. Let me turn this off. Half a second, and I don't know why people watch these streams without liking it, given that it really helps us grow the channel. So please go ahead and spend half a second to like the stream right now before you do anything else. People in the live chat, can you please let everybody know that you already like the stream so other people see that you like the stream and they get encouraged to do so as well? I see people are saying hello in the live chat. Hi, everyone. Okay, Soha is confirming that the audio is great. Thank you so much, Soha. All right, so I have a lot more nonsense for you guys. I am trying to focus on people who disagree with us rather than the ones that maybe like have the same views, because I just want to, there's just too much nonsense right now on social media, and we need to get quickly go over all of them and respond to every single one of this. Okay, so people saying hello from Poland, like the stream. People already like. Thank you so much, done the liking. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Also, guys, if you also want to support even more, after the show is over, leave a comment under the video. I try to spend as much as time as possible to read the comments. I don't read all of them, but I read as much as I can. Okay, so I can tell you that I'm trying to be honest here. Okay. All right, bring on the nonsense. Yes, let's get into it. All right, so let me start with an emotional one for the start, because I don't know how to, like, you guys could help me out figure out how to handle these ones that are just a huge appeal to emotion. So, all right, so let me just increase my size here and let's see what she says. And again, guys, emotions are important because at the end of the day, we're trying to we care about people and we want to reduce suffering in the world, but emotions are the goal. They're not the tool, they're the goal. Positive emotions are supposed to be the tool, the goal. Proper logic is the tool that we use. But let's see, maybe she makes some point here. Let's see what she's trying to say. Oh, Dolly is here. Hi, Dolly. Noah's here. Sid is here. Guys, thank you so much for all being here. Busy live chat right now. Keep commenting. I'll try to keep an eye on the live chat. Oh, guys, by the way, I need somebody to help me out. Dolly, maybe, I don't know, somebody to, when I'm live on air, to highlight the comments. So I don't know, Dolly, if you are into that or interested in that, let me know. So while we're live, you could be in the background and just highlight people's comments so that because I can't keep an eye on all the comments here, but I need somebody to highlight the good comments people have here or criticisms people have while I'm talking to be highlighted here right below me, so I could focus on them. And also, you could star the comments that you think are important for me to read. Oh, we got a new member. Thank you so much for being a member, guys. Let me see if we're monetized right now. Or I did messed up by, yeah, we're still monetized even with this title. Usually this title gets us demonetized right away, but right now we're monetized, but we're probably going to get demonetized at some point during the stream. So if you want to help us out with the super chats or becoming member or buying other people memberships, that would be very much appreciated, so we could make up for the fact that we're being demonetized for almost all of these streams. Even the streams that don't get demonetized during the stream, right after the stream is over, it does get demonetized. So we'll see what happens today. So let's see what she has to say. Oh, let me give credits to her for her channel. Her TikTok account is ELLEOLOLOL. So Ilolul or something like that. Anyways, let's see what she has to say. This is on TikTok.
I was begged to stay silent, but I can't because they've bombed the last safe space in the Gaza Strip. The way that I have been feeling for the whole month of January, I want to scream from the depths of my soul. I don't want to exist on a planet where this can happen. I feel like I want to rip my skin off and peel my skin off. What is the state of humanity? I am so frustrated. I don't even have the words to express how I feel. I feel like, and how I feel is not even important, but we are watching the one of the biggest injustices in history. and nothing is being done. So the rest of us who want to stand up for what the fuck type of justice do you think you're gonna get when they can't value basic human lives? What justice do we think we're gonna get to have autonomy over our own bodies when they can't respect human life? I've had this righteous scream in me for years now, and I think I've reached my cap. Because if I don't scream, I'll die. I'll vomit. I don't even.
People are saying what she's talking about. She's talking about the she's speaking against Israel for the bombings in Gaza. That's what she's talking about.
And I didn't even want my spirit to be broken, because my spirit was broken for a good couple of weeks in January. You can see the change in my content. I didn't even post. What do we do? What do we do? Because what they basically want to happen is happening. They are using this as an excuse to kill thousands of people, to displace more people, so what, they can have the land and then we're just supposed to move on? You think a generation of us are not going to be spiteful? You think a generation of us are not going to be prejudiced? You think a generation of us are not going to have... What type of people are you making? The type of person that I am? She's gone. I'm forever changed by this. The minimum that I have been changed by is the number of death threats that I've received. The way that I move in the streets is different. The sense of awareness that I have is different. I don't come straight to my door. I sometimes do a loop around the block before I even come to my house. There are entire Telegram threads about people wanting to kill me for speaking up, for saying the truth. And they're still doing it. I don't have any words anymore. I genuinely don't have any words.
Okay, so that was that. Let me actually... her account, she has the watermelon also in her account, just to be clear. All right, so there's a lot to go through. All right, so what do you guys think? How do we... There's a lot to go through here. First of all, when they say they bombed the last... She starts by saying they bombed the last safe space. I mean, the way they talk about they bombed hospitals or bombing safe spaces, correct me if I'm wrong, they act like the hospital was, or the safe space was, like, bombarded, like turned into ashes. But every time they say that, when I go look at what happened, is that it was a targeted, like, the areas that are evacuated, there are a lot more bombardments, and in places where there are people there, it's not... They say they bombed it as if they just turned it into ashes, like they bombed the whole thing and the hospital is not there anymore, or like 500 people were there and they're not all dead. They don't mention how targeted these things are. And I want to ask these people, do they think, if, for example, given that we know how Hamas uses these hospitals for operation, and given that the international pressure is on Israel to not bomb certain areas, and that's Hamas knows that, and Hamas uses exactly these sites as a base of operation, does that mean that Israel doesn't get to go after very key Hamas operatives as long as they are in certain areas? Like, is it like, oh, I'm in the hospital now, so you can't do like that? Wouldn't they just make the hospital their base of operations? Is as soon as a Hamas militia leader enters a hospital, now you can, and you know it's that person is there, and you know that if you target that person there right now, that would be a major advancement in achieving the military goal. Does that mean that you cannot touch them anymore? You have to understand that when it comes to international law and Geneva Conventions, when hospitals and certain safe spaces are being used for military objectives, they lose their protective status under international law, right? So that means that, again, in a reasonable, as long as reasonable measures are being taken into account to not make the civilian casualty very high, to try to do whatever you can to reduce it, those areas like safe spaces or hospitals will become fair game under international law if they're being used for military objectives. They lose their protective status. So just remember that when people are constantly saying, again, I'm not saying Israel is not making any mistakes here and there, but because I don't know, because I have to look at the evidence, but neither do you. You're just making the claim. Every time you see a safe space or somewhere being bombed, you're just assuming that something wrong has happened. Like, honestly, if a key Hamas leader is in that area, what should Israel do? Like, if taking somebody out would significantly push forward the military objectives and bring this war closer to an end, would you expect IDF to be like, well, they're in this area where we cannot bomb? Like, do a cost-benefit analysis. It's obviously reasonable to take that person out. Are you genuinely asking for states not to target terrorists as soon as they enter certain areas? Is what I'm saying. Make it like that's an unreasonable ask. Again, guys, you have to understand, international laws will not be taken seriously if you ask unreasonable things from countries. The only hope we have for a global order that we all feel more safe in is these international norms and regulations. If you make them so restrictive for states to be able to take out terrorists, then states will sign off. They will be like, okay, then the only reason why the international laws have any teeth at all is because countries sign up to them. There is no other way to make this work unless countries voluntarily sign up to them. If you tell countries like, oh, this guy that just came and did an act of genocide on your citizens, if they pass this line, you cannot hit them. This is a safe space, not just for civilians, but also the terrorists. Then be like, okay, then screw the international laws, and then we're all screwed. Again, this is not about protecting Israel. This is about protecting all of us. The reason why we're trying to, a lot of us are trying to defend Israel's right to protect itself, because we don't want these international laws to be turned into a freaking joke, because then all of us are screwed. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. Okay, so that was, thank you. So that was the first point. Yeah, she keeps on talking about how frustrating this is, and it is frustrating. Civilians are dying, and children are dying. Mind you, when they use the word children, they use it dishonestly, but that's a different topic. But genuine, like actual children are dying, okay? A lot of them, and a lot of innocent people are dying. But it's partly because of you guys, because you are seeing Israel as a force of evil that needs to be fought against. Your encouragement, you are of this battle against imperialism or against this oppressive force, is what's getting Palestinians killed. There's another point. So again, the solution is for Palestinians to recognize, for more Palestinians to recognize that this is an unwinnable battle. Unless we get to that point, they will continue to suffer. So if you are frustrated by this, as you should be, and you want to be part of the solution, don't ask Israel to stop defending itself. Ask the Palestinians to give up on the hope that they will be able to destroy Israel, because that will not happen. And that hope is not going to destroy Israel, but it's going to get Palestinians killed. Let me just remove the star. So that's another point. What else did she say? She said this is the biggest injustice in history. Holy crap. This is not even the biggest injustice in our lifetime. This is not even the biggest injustice in the past decade. Like, again, I think this is because Jews are doing it. Am I that you guys see it as the biggest injustice? This is not even the biggest injustice against Muslims. I mean, where were you guys when Yemen was being bombarded? I mean, we were there. We were talking about it. We were talking about, I was yelling at my fellow ex-Muslims over this, okay? 6 years ago, before people were paying attention to Yemen, before even the United Nations was announcing the situation in Yemen to be the greatest humanitarian crisis of our lifetime, we were talking about it. We were defending Muslims here on Atheist Republic, on an anti-Islamic channel. We were defending Muslims in Yemen against the bombardment of Saudi Arabia before even most people were talking about it, before even mainstream media was heavily talking about it. We, on Atheist Republic, we have defended the rights of Muslims in India, in China, and in Yemen on this Atheist Republic channel more than all the main Islamic channels combined, even though we are anti-Islam, especially in Yemen. I mean, it's the situation of Muslims in Yemen is astronomically worse than the situation of Muslims in Palestine. And you're completely blind to it. I'm not saying the Palestinian situation is great. People in Gaza are suffering, but the fact that you think that this is the biggest injustice in history shows how blind you are to everything. Why is it that you see this one? Is it because Jews are involved? Because I don't see other reasons. Somebody help me out here. Is it because there are Jews involved here? Another point, what else did she make? Oh, the last point that she made that I actually agree with, and this is a problem, okay? She said, what are you turning us into? She said, you're making radicals out of us. You're making a generation of spiteful people. And you're right. This is a problem that Israel and the liberal world needs to take seriously. As just as Israel's response in Gaza is, the side effects are, like, the truth is that Israel is losing the media war. And Israel cannot afford to lose the media war. Israel is losing the media war. And we are seeing a new generation of Gen Z, of younger people who are radical, who are spiteful, who are anti-imperialist, anti-Zionist, anti-US, anti their own countries, anti-Western countries. And the footage that is coming out of Gaza is radicalizing them even more. So she was, everything she said almost was nonsense, other than the fact that what's happening in Gaza is frustrating. It's a tragedy. She's right about that. She just doesn't understand what's causing it, right? But other stuff she said was nonsense. But this last point is also correct. They are being radicalized, and we need to figure this out. We need to respond. We can't just respond to terrorism with bullets and tanks. That's why you need to like the stream, by the way. This is because we're doing a good job on this channel in responding to all of this nonsense. So, hey, here's a solution. Recommend Atheist Republic to more people. Tell them to come subscribe. But seriously, or do your own thing as well. Like, make your own channel. Like, you need to, like, why are you guys not on TikTok in the same way that these people are? Like, why is it that 9 out of 10 videos on Instagram and on TikTok anti-Israeli? Why are the people who are supporting Islam, the people who are supporting Hamas, the people who are supporting anti-Zionism, the people who are against Israel, the people who are against the world liberal order, the people who are anti-Western countries, why are they so active? And the people who are supposed to be supporting liberalism are falling asleep. Like, where the hell are you guys? Where is everybody? I think a lot of liberals don't defend liberalism because liberalism works and it just produces results. And a lot of people think like the results just speak for themselves. But apparently they don't. It's not enough. We need advocates for liberal values. We have a new generation of radicals, and these people vote. These people decide how the world's largest army that has godlike powers is going to be used. So, yeah, you need to help us out in trying to de-radicalize these idiots. Yeah, we take it for granted, somebody in the live chat is saying. No, I'm saying. All right, let's go to this. So that was the first video. Let's go to the second one. So which one? Let's go to this one. Let me remove that previous one. Okay, let's do this one.
In Canada, you're not allowed to be from Palestine anymore. They're erasing the Palestinian identity. This is my grandma's current Canadian passport. It says she was born in El Bassa, Palestine, but it expires this month and she's trying to get it renewed. According to the government of Canada, on her new passport, Palestine has to be removed and replaced with no country of birth. When you try to renew your passport in Canada, Palestine is not an option for a country in the drop-down list. Imagine being 90 years old and having your actual place of birth just erased from your identity. This is cultural genocide. Please make sure as many people see this as possible so the government of Canada has to change this policy.
Oh my God, what the hell? Lady, Palestine is not a country. I don't even understand why this option was there to begin with. Palestine is not a country. I'm sorry to tell you that. Here's the thing. I'm not against Palestine being a country. I want Palestine to be a country. Okay, that's being in favor of the two-state solution means you want Palestine to be a country. Okay, but Palestine, as of right now, is not a country, and it never was. Maybe you should go look at the definition of countries. It's not a country. Countries are made up stuff. They're good made up stuff, but they're made up. Given that they're made up, it's based on international law. We came up together. This whole idea of a nation state is a modern concept. It requires international agreement. We don't have the international agreement right now that makes Palestine a country. But hey, we're trying to get there. In fact, the United Nations was offering Palestine to be a country right from the very beginning, and exactly the same time that they offered Israel to be a country. But guess what? They said no. Why? Because they wanted all of it. They wanted all of it. They were like, everything or not. Why are these Jews here? It was because they couldn't accept Jews being there. Even though there was enough land for everybody to be there, even though it would have been a win-win for everybody because the Jews were bringing a lot of, human capital and other forms of capital, and it would have increased trade. If there were not so much anti-Jewish hatred, there were enough land for everybody, and it would have been peace and prosperity for everybody. It would like, okay, let's have Israel as a country and Palestine as a country. But unfortunately, the Arabs at that time, they were like, nope. No to us having a country and them having a country as long as they have a country. We want a country when they don't get to have a country. We will have Palestine when there is no Israel. That was the condition. And now Israel has a country and Palestinians don't have a country. So that it's not a country. Like what? Like people are like, hey, look, there's a coin here that it predates Israel that says Palestine on it. I'm like, yeah, we're not saying there's not a place called Palestine. We're saying there was not a country called Palestine. That area was named Palestine by the freaking Romans. And it was named Palestine, not Philistine, as the Arabs call it. Okay, because it's not even an Arabic name. It's not, you're like, oh, the Arab, there's an identity, the Palestinian identity. It's a Roman freaking name. How is this like an ancient Palestinian identity? There is no such thing. The Palestinian identity was created in the same time the nation state of Israel was created. There was no previous Palestinian identity. You know how I know this? Because the people who are living there are Arabs. And the name is Palestine. It has pe, the sound pe in it. Go look at the letters in Arabic. Do you see a pe sound in there? There's no pe in Arabic. That's why they have to, even though the name is Palestine, they call it Philistine, not Palestine, Philistine, because they don't have the same. They can't even say the. They don't even have the name. They can't even write the name Palestine. How is this their identity when they can't even say it? When they can't even write it, when they don't even have the sounds to say it. That's why they have to change the name that was given to them. What Palestinian identity are you talking about? The Palestinian identity was created by the United Nations. It's a new identity. Yes, that identity is there, but there's no country. Why should Canada recognize a country that the United Nations doesn't recognize as a country? What are you talking about? She says, look, let me go through this one more time. How are these people? What the hell? Like, do you know what a country is?
In Canada, you're not allowed to be from Palestine. And
what are you talking about? Just because the place that you are born is not a country and it's not recognized as a country, that what does that got to do with not being allowed from being from there? Like, what about other stateless people? These are people without a country. We're trying to solve that. If you stopped being so anti-Israeli, maybe we will find a solution for these people that don't have a freaking country. And who are saying they're not allowed to be from there? They're allowed to be from there, but where they are from is not a country
anymore. They're erasing the Palestinian identity. This is my
No, they're not erasing the Palestinian identity. The United Nations created the Palestinian identity because it did not exist previous that. Okay, the identity that the people had there was Arab. They had the Arab identity. Okay, during the Ottoman Empire, the Palestinian identity was not a thing. Okay, the United Nations made it. The same United Nations that created the Palestinian identity, okay, is the same United Nations that hasn't recognized Palestine to be a country. So this is how international norms work. Sorry.
Grandma's current Canadian passport. It says she was born in El Bassa, Palestine, but it expires this month and she's trying to get it renewed. According to the government of Canada, on her new passport, Palestine has to be removed and replaced with no country of birth. When you try to
no country of birth, because she has no country, unfortunately.
Renew your passport in Canada, Palestine is not an option for a country.
Yeah, because why was it there to begin with? Those are list of countries. And Palestine is not a country.
In the drop-down list. Imagine being 90 years old and having your actual place of birth just erased from your identity. This is cultural genocide.
No, it's not. Your identity is not being erased, okay? A country that is not a country is just not being recognized as a country. Cultural genocide. Look at this.
Genocide.
This is cultural genocide. Okay. Look how they are belittling the meaning of the word genocide. Okay, this is Imagine what a disservice this is to the people who are actual victims of genocide. When you are born in a place that is not a country, and a country like Canada is not saying that it's a country, if you just, which is a reasonable thing to do, if you call that cultural genocide, imagine what the actual victims of genocide or even victims of cultural genocide feel when this is being compared to that. Isn't that not a disservice to them?
It's cultural genocide. Make sure as many people see this as possible, so the government of Canada has to change this policy.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, people should be questioning the government of Canada. Why was Palestine there before? Is Palestine a country? Why was this there before? I don't understand that part. Wait, is this lady twice here? Oh yeah, this lady is there twice. Let me see what she's saying here now. Okay, wait, let me go from the beginning because this is not loading for you guys. Hey, is the video loading for you guys? Uh-oh. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I'm back. Am I back? Hello? Am I back? Am I back? My internet is bad. Am I back? Give me a second. When my connection is bad, it takes a few seconds for it to get fixed. So am I good now? Do you guys can hear me? Why is my connection bad right now? Usually my connection is really, really good. Armin, you're lagging. I know I'm lagging. That's why I'm not reviewing this video until my internet goes back again. I think I should be good now. Do you have my audio good? Is my audio okay now? Okay, hear you lagging a bit. Okay, what about now? As soon as my audio, I don't care if I'm fuzzy on my video. As soon as my audio is decent, I'm gonna start reviewing this video again. Audio is perfect? Okay. Audio good, but video is bad. Okay, I don't care as long as you guys could hear me. You're good, all good. Okay, let's just do this. Let's hope that my internet comes back better soon. Wow. You know what? I need to get different internet service. Okay, let's continue.
Canada left a voicemail on my Palestinian grandmother's phone. It said Palestine has never existed. No country. According to
Is it buffering again? Is it buffering again? Oh my God. God damn it. Let me just wait it out a few seconds. And is it buffering? Make your camera. I can't hear her. You can't hear her? It's cutting badly? Okay. Armin is getting DDoS. No. She's roboting. She sounds like Stephen Hawking. I'm going to get a new coffee. All right. Let's just wait it out for a few seconds until I can see the bars going back up again. And then I will start the stream again. I will start. Let me just see what you guys are saying in the live chat. Oh, wait, I got super chats. So I could just respond to the super chats while the internet comes back. Kelvin is saying most of the global South is entrenched with anti-Semitic tropes, and most of the global nations are also human rights abusers. Most of the global nations are, I think most of the world is entrenched with anti-Semitic tropes, and most of the global nations are also human rights abusers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is a correlation with how much advanced your country is and how much you follow human rights laws, norms and standards. So that is true. Unfortunately, the poorer countries seem to be less concerned about following. Yeah, you're right. And also Kelvin with another super chat saying, Gaza WB plus Gaza, West Bank and Gaza are not even a liberal democracy. Yes, they're not. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking mostly about whether or not they're a country or not. How's my audio? Still laggy? Let me see while we're waiting for my audio to come back before we go back to the reviewing the video. Let me just see if we've been demonetized or not. Oh yeah, we have, guys. Let me while we're waiting for this, let me just show you guys this. We have been demonetized, so let me just confirm that. Let me just request a review. Oh, this screen is not loading for you guys. All right, this is a not today. Okay, so yeah, we have been demonetized. So and it's gone. This is a good time for us to review this while we're waiting for the stream to come back. Oh, you guys can't even see the meme. All right. Oh yeah, there you go. Now you can see it, and it's gone. And it's gone. All right. Is my connection back or no? Let me just remove this one. Sorry about this, guys.
Canada.
Okay, so I'll give it another 2 minutes or so. Oh wait, now I think we're good. Let me just try to play it one more time and see if we could hear.
The government of Canada just left a voicemail on my Palestinian grandmother's phone and said that Palestine has never existed.
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Passport Services with Service Canada. I'm calling in regards to your passport application. This is just to advise you that per your previous passport, when we do issue your new passport per policy, your place of birth will just read El Bassa, no country of birth printed. Thank you.
No country of birth. According to the government of Canada, she was born nowhere. In Narnia, it was Terra Nullis, a land without a people for a people without a land. She was born in Al Bassa, a Palestinian village that was raided by Zionist terrorists in 1948 and almost destroyed. And the government of Canada is perpetuating their narrative, is whitewashing history, is agreeing with them that nothing was there, that Palestinians and Palestine never existed. They are leaving messages on Israel's victims' phones saying you come from nowhere. You have no identity. Today is my Tata's birthday. She's 90 years old, 14 years older than the state of Israel. She has a country of origin. It's called Palestine.
Okay, I think this lady is an idiot. I don't know how she's switching up that place not being a country with that place not existing at all. Like, are you freaking serious? They're saying the place she is born is not a country. They're not saying the place she is born does not exist. What are you talking about? Like, how do you not listen to what the person is saying? How are you mixing these two up? Like, how much of an idiot do you have to be to not know the difference between these two? Listen to this again. Let's go from the beginning, okay? Let's do line by line.
The government of Canada.
Okay, let's see. The government of Canada. Hold on.
The government of Canada just left a voicemail on my Palestinian grandmother's phone and said that Palestine has never existed.
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Passport Services with Service Canada. I'm calling in regards to your passport application. This is just to advise you that per your previous passport, when we do issue your new passport per policy, your place of birth will just read El Bassa, no country of birth.
So your place of birth will be no country of birth, okay?
Good. Thank you.
No country of birth. According to the government of Canada, she was born nowhere.
How is this the same thing? She was born, like, how is no country of birth means that she was born nowhere? Like, do you have an IQ of 4.5? Obviously, she was born somewhere, and that somewhere is not officially a country. Holy crap. How is this person TikTok famous? Let me see what's their TikTok here. I forgot to mention. Yeah, she's getting so many. What the hell? She has 6,000 comments over this. Her TikTok account is MADAMEBUDGYSMUGGLER. In case anyone wants, I just want to give her credit. How is somebody saying that you are born in a place that is not a country the same as you were born nowhere. And look how she was making fun of it, like Narnia and stuff. Yeah, you're an idiot, and you think they're the idiot.
In Narnia, it was Terra Nullis, a land without a people for a people without a land. She was born in Al-Bassa, a Palestinian village that was raided by Zionists.
Yeah, that's what they said. Is it raided? Hold on.
That was raided by Zionist terrorists in 1948 and almost.
Oh, not yeah, sure. Like we can see how biased you are regarding your framing of what happened. So you're not a very trusted source of what actually happened.
And the government of Canada is perpetuating their narrative, is whitewashing history, is agreeing with them that nothing was there, that
nothing was there. No, there is something there. Lady, there are lands on this planet that are not officially part of any country. Saying that they're not officially part of a country, like, Antarctica, for example. If I say that that officially is not a country, like in certain parts of it, right? That doesn't mean that it doesn't freaking exist, okay? Like, for example, there is international waters, okay? That is not part of a country, that like you could go, there's certain parts of the ocean that you could go on a boat and you could go there, and I would say like, hey, here, this area is not a country. Does that mean that this area does not exist, lady? No. Oh my God.
Palestinians and Palestine never existed.
No, they're not saying that. They're not saying Palestinians never existed.
Leaving messages on Israel's victims' phones saying you come from nowhere. You have no identity.
Oh yeah, sure. That's what the Canadian agent said. They're like, yeah, I'm seeing that you are applying for renewal of your passport. We just wanted to call you and inform you that you are a nobody. You are nothing. You come from nowhere. This is the official position of the Canadian government's agent, that you do not even exist. Okay? We are so pro-Israel that if we find out that somebody is Palestinian, we actually deny your existence. I don't even know why I'm leaving you a voicemail, because people that we usually leave voicemails for actually exist in the real world. But you, madam, you don't even exist. So who am I even talking to right now? That was the official line-by-line position of the Canadian agent. Like, what? Why am I even talking to myself? You are a person that just like came out of air. Like, I don't know. Like, you are nobody. I'm talking to myself. Why am I talking to myself? That's what the Canadian agent was saying.
Today is my Tata's birthday. She's 90 years old, 14 years older than the state of Israel. She has a country of origin. It's called Palestine.
No. She has the place of birth, which is called Palestine, which is not yet a country. And we hope one day it will become a country. But unfortunately for anti-Israeli people like you, you are part of the problem. You're the reason, one of the reasons, your attitude is the reason why your grandma doesn't have a country yet. So if you're looking for somebody to blame, look in the mirror, okay? Look in the freaking mirror. Anyways, let's go to the next person. By the way, for the video editing, I don't know if I can mention who's the video editor. I didn't ask her if I could tell her or not. But these cut the part where the internet was going bad, and then connect these two parts together, because it's the same lady. So I don't want it to be two different videos. Maybe just put these together. Okay. So note to video editor. Let's go to, we got super chat. Guys, by the way, thank you so much for the super chats, because we have been demonetized. So let me just read the super chats. And thank you so much, Georgia. Am I reading this? Thank you. Saying the video is working well now. Yes, I can see the bars are fully back up. Sorry for that, guys. Whenever that happens during my live streams, if you see like me getting choppy, it usually lasts about, I don't know, 5 or sometimes 10 minutes, but we just have to wait it out and it will come back. So don't abandon me if that happens. Okay, we'll just stay put and we will be back on. Okay, so cool. Let me see in the live chat if I have permission. All right, so let me see. Thank you so much for confirming my internet is back and everything is working again. The Asian American with the super chat saying, my hometown of Shanghai accepted 20,000 children of Abraham, meaning the Jews, I think, when America closed their doors. Okay, well, thank you for Shanghai. Thank you for being so generous in accepting people there. And Kirsten with the 5.5 Canadian dollar super sticker, which is a pair that is giving me coffee. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the super sticker and the coffee. Given that we are demonetized, we do need these super chats, guys, because you can see that all our streams get demonetized, and we need you guys to support us like that. Oh, okay, so all good. Okay, so Dolly is saying all good. So thank you so much, Dolly. Thank you so much for the notes. Noted. Yes, she's saying noted. Thank you. Okay, so let me go to the next. Like, you know what? Let's keep it on passport and citizenship and country related, because we're on a roll with country related stuff. So let's do another one that is country related, and then we go to some other stuff. Let's do this one.
Hi everyone. My name is Yula and I am an artist and filmmaker in Toronto. I am also an Israeli citizen. I left Israel 23 years ago and I've been living in Canada ever since. Here's my Israeli passport. Here's my Israeli ID. And Army exemption card. I didn't serve in the Army. Last week, I submitted an application to renounce my Israeli citizenship in the consulate here in Toronto. It wasn't a decision I made lightly. I've been thinking about it for a long time. In fact, from the moment I learned about the real history of the place where I grew up, the history that wasn't taught to us in schools or even talked about while I was living there, until last week at the consulate, it's been a really long process that took 2 decades. Yes, I did it in response to Israel's horrific assault on Gaza. But since this isn't the first time that Israel is bombing Gaza, why now? Why this moment? Because the amount of casualties has reached catastrophic proportions, and even though we're in a temporary ceasefire or pause or whatever you want to call it right now, it seems like it's not going to end anytime soon. And even Israeli officials are saying that after the pause, they intend to keep bombing for 2 more months at least. Whether Israel realizes it or not, all this death harms its own people as well. During my childhood in Israel, I lived through 2 major wars. One of them was the first Gulf War, 2 intifadas, Palestinian uprisings, 26 suicide bombings, one of which I witnessed myself. And my town that was located on the Lebanese border was bombed every other day throughout my entire childhood. And even though the rockets used were either homemade or old and not very precise, even I know 2 people who died by rocket fire in my hometown. I spent so much of my childhood going in and out of bomb shelters, wondering whether or not I should go to a bomb shelter, skipping class and school days because the schools were closed due to rocket fire. How many times I sat with my friend as a teen, watching as flares fell down around the forest. I learned how to put a gas mask on myself and my siblings when I was 10 and they were 7 and 6. Just in case my parents weren't home. I participated in dozens of drills. I learned to differentiate between outgoing and incoming rocket fire, just so I can stay in bed a few more minutes. And throughout all of that, the messaging on the news and in newspapers and everywhere around us was that this is normal. This is because we're Jews and everyone around us wants to annihilate us. It feels like Israel is playing a game, even right now, the situation right now, using words like winning, trying to one-up the other side as much as...
Wait, I don't understand. That is because that you were being attacked because you were Jews. That is correct. Like, how is that narrative wrong? But let me just let her finish.
Possible, even though the context is thousands of dead civilians. Israeli soldiers make mocking TikTok videos on top of the ruins of Palestinian homes in Gaza. Why am I doing this now? Because more than ever, it's clear to me now that in Israel, peace is not the goal. And I don't know if it ever was. And when I think back on my childhood and all the times we spent running in and out of the bomb shelter, all the times my parents were worried about us, all the time I spent worrying while putting on a brave face like we were encouraged to, I feel like it's the kind of state that doesn't care about its own people. And I'm not even talking about all the torture, abuse, and humiliation inflicted upon Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza, or Palestinians with Israeli citizenship that Israel loves to use as some sort of proof that it's not an apartheid state. I'm talking about the way Israel treats its own people. You would think that living in a dangerous situation like we did, right on the border, would make us the focus of our state's resources and efforts to create peace in the region. But no, Israel is an entity that is built on hierarchies where a person's value and humanity are tied directly to their identity. And because of that, unwanted populations, so poor people, brown people, immigrants from countries that are not wealthy, are often placed in forgotten places, places along the borders where the government doesn't have to concern itself with them as much. In this kind of society where people are categorized and placed within a hierarchy like that, abuse and bullying are how people tap into their own sense of superiority and entitlement and assert themselves.
Okay, sorry. I need to talk. This is getting too crazy. Israel has done more than most countries when it comes to protecting the people close to the border. In fact, the criticism on Israel is that they have done too much. They built a wall against all international pressure. They built a wall that we saw what happened. Yeah, so they had a lot of shortcomings, but Israel has gone beyond and above most countries when it comes to defending all its citizens. You're saying people are not equal because of their different ethnicities and their wealth and economic status. Well, lady, that's a problem we have on every freaking country. When it comes to the government itself, so what are you trying to judge? Are you trying to judge Israel society? Because that criticism applies to every freaking society. What you can look at what the government is doing is how the law, you either judge society or you judge the government. If that judgment on society applies everywhere. But when it comes to the legal status, Israel has made everyone equal under the law. That equality exists. If you see that people have different status based on their ethnicity and their wealth, yeah, that's a fair criticism on Israel. But why are you saying it specifically for Israel? Why are you having a double standard? This exists in other countries more than Israel. In fact, this hierarchy exists in Israel's neighbors more than Israel itself. So why is Israel being so unfairly treated for having this problem? I mean, does United States not have this problem? Does Canada not have this problem? Does Iran not have this problem? Does Lebanon not have this problem? Why are you denouncing your Israeli citizenship because of this problem? And because Israel is not doing enough to protect the people at its borders? Israel is being criticized for doing too much to protect the people at its borders. Like, make up your mind. If you're like, look at the hypocrisy. She's criticizing Israel for attacking Gaza, and she's also criticizing Israel for not doing enough to protect the Israelis close to the border. Then what should they do in response to an attack? Like, then it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. What do you want them to do? Do you have a solution, lady? Because we're all ears. And here's another thing. If you have a solution, then why would you denounce your Israeli citizenship? You had the tool to be a force for change. I mean, Israel has problems, and if you are complaining about that, you were in a position more than most of us to be a force of change. Because guess what? Israel is a democracy, and you could vote, and you could be a political activist, but you can't anymore because you gave it away. You gave it away.
While living there, I was on the receiving end of this dynamic more times than I'd like to remember. In Israel, repressed populations, so the people that I grew up with, my neighbors, they're the ones that have the nobility of sacrifice dangled in front of them like a carrot. The illusion that one day you can join them. This mostly expresses itself in how eager my neighbors, the kids that I grew up with, were to serve in the army because they thought that finally they would be accepted into society. And after a lifetime of discrimination at the hands of the Israeli state, what ends up happening is kids from poor towns get the worst jobs that are available within the army. And not only that, most of those kids, specifically these with parents from Iraq, Yemen, Morocco, whose parents speak Arabic, these kids get sent to become border guards.
What are you? Okay, listen, lady. When it comes to the, I don't know what specifically what you're saying. Let's assume it's true. When it comes to the army, Arabs are treated better than Jews in Israel because Jews are forced to serve in the military, and Arabs are go join the military only if they want to. If there's any form of discrimination here, it's against the Jews, not against the Arabs. What the hell are you talking about? And also, I'm sure there are problems. I'm sure if I go dig in, investigate within the Israeli military and see, I'm sure I'm going to be able to find a crap ton of problems, just like I will be able to find problems with every other military. But guess what? You had the tools to be a force for change for good, because Israel is a democracy and your citizenship was a powerful force to change that. And now you gave up your only tool to be a force for good. Holy crap.
And they're the ones who engage with the Palestinian population. When I refused to serve in the army at age 18,
Wait, so what? Hold on, what?
these kids get sent to become border guards. And they're the ones.
Oh my God, that actually makes sense because they speak Arabic. They put them in places where they have to speak to Arabs. She's criticizing actually a policy that makes sense. Hold on, look at this.
State, what ends up happening is kids from poor towns get the worst jobs that are available within the army. And not only that, most of those kids, specifically these with parents from Iraq, Yemen, Morocco, whose parents speak Arabic, these kids get sent to become border guards. And they're the ones who engage with the Palestinian population.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. That actually makes sense. Between the people who are in the military, the Jews who don't speak Arabic, and the ones who are Arab and speak Arabic, you send the Arabs to engage with the Palestinians, maybe because the Palestinians, I mean, that makes more sense. That makes sense. How is that? How are you criticizing that policy? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Arabs who's in the military is happy to be there, given that they have a choice not to be there, unlike the Jews. What the hell is wrong with these people?
When I refused to serve in the army at age 18, it wasn't because of any sort of political awareness. I was living in a small town and I had no idea what I was doing. It was because I recognized the violent, macho energy that I remembered from the bullies of my childhood. I recognized it in this.
You recognize that defending you refused to serve your country because defending Israel's right to existence and defending people for being genocided upon, you looked at that and you saw bullying. Okay, I really have no trust in your judgment skills here.
This new system that I was expected to serve, and I felt my entire being resist it. When I was 26, I accidentally learned about the Nakba while looking for something online. When I was 36 and I went back there.
How did you have missed that until that age? I was in Israel. People talk about these things. It's not like in Israel, there's a mass censorship on these topics. There's a large part of Israeli media that constantly criticizes its own government and constantly brings up these points. If you miss me, like, I accidentally learned about Nakba. The fact that you missed it by that age, That is not a criticism on Israel, because I know I was in Israel. People know these things and they talk about it. That's a criticism on you. That you, like, I know about, I grew up in Iran and I heard about things that the government didn't want me to hear. How are you born in a democratic country where that level of censorship does not exist like it exists in Iran, and you still manage not to hear about these things? That's a you problem. That's not an Israel problem. That's a you problem.
For the first time when my grandmother died.
Oh my God.
It wasn't because of any sort of political awareness. I was living in a small town and I had no idea what I was doing. It was because I recognized the violent, macho energy that I remembered from the bullies of my childhood. I recognized it in this new system that I was expected to serve, and I felt my entire being resist it. When I was 26, I accidentally learned about.
She went to age 20, all the way to age 26, and she still hasn't heard about Nakba. Holy crap. And she thinks this is because of Israel.
The Nakba while looking for something online. When I was 36 and I went back there for the first time when my grandmother died, I traveled through the West Bank with my Canadian passport. I went through the checkpoints. I saw the soldiers and how they treat people.
I went through the checkpoints as well. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But hey, it's secure. Like the checkpoints going through them, it's like a hassle for Palestinians. I went through them and I know. Okay, but again, what do you know what those why those checkpoints are there? To protect you. You were just complaining about them not doing enough to protect us. Well, these checkpoints are unfortunately necessary. I mean, actually, not in the West Bank. The West Bank, I do agree that the settlements in the West Bank need to be stopped. But again, given that they're there, you know, the checkpoints are necessary, unfortunately.
Depending on where they're from. I saw the double sets of roads, one for Jewish Israelis and one for Palestinians. I saw the 8-meter concrete wall cutting into towns, separating communities, separating families.
Okay, so the walls in the West Bank that cuts into towns. I agree that the West Bank settlements, again, the West Bank settlements is actually kind of complicated because it's making everything more difficult, and it's also against international laws. However, at the same time, without the West Bank, there is the buffer between Arab control and Tel Aviv becomes so little that Israel's survival is completely up in the air at that point. So I understand. I did not used to understand the security arguments for the settlements in the West Bank. I'm not saying I am for the settlements in the West Bank, but now I have a more understanding of how complicated the situation is. That as much as I'm against the settlements in the West Bank, I also understand that if you give up the West Bank, Israel's ability to defend itself will become incredibly difficult. So we could talk about that another time.
Members, and throughout all of that, the people I met were nothing but kind to me. And when I crossed the border back to Israel and I watched the news, they were talking about the same people who were feeding me and helping me find my way as irrational, heartless animals that want to kill me.
Okay, I don't know what media you're consuming, because Israel's media is constantly criticizing people who talk like that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe pick your. Israel is a very diverse country, and the media there is free. So I'm pretty sure you could pick and choose fascistic media or non-fascistic media in Israel, because Israel, just like every country, has good people and horrible people. And given that the media there is free, both the good people and the horrible people have access to media. So if you are noticing people having racist take against Arabs, that's on you, because there's also, how about you acknowledge all the good media that exists in Israel that does not speak like that and even criticizes people who talk like that? Why are you being so one-sided? Why do you talk about one of these existing but not the other one? Almost everything that we know about the government of Israel doing things that are problematic is because of how amazing that Israel's media is with its journalism, with its investigative journalism. People are become anti-Israeli, and they use all the amazing work of Israel's journalism to attack not Israel's government's questionable decisions, but the existence of Israel as a whole. But they don't tell you that they know these details because of how amazing Israel's journalists are and how freely they question their own government.
I haven't considered myself an Israeli citizen or even Israeli for so long that I'm actually surprised that it took me this many years to get to this point, and I was a little bit embarrassed. But I think I know why it took me so long.
I mean, honestly, it's not a loss for Israel. You seem to be an idiot, okay? And if you used to be Israeli and now you're not, I would think that Israel is now better off for it. Like one less idiot as a citizen.
Israel spends so much time and money inciting its own people against each other, family members, friends, neighbors. This decision is going to affect my life, my ability to visit the place where I grew up. It's going to affect my relationship with my family.
No, you should not even go there. Okay, you should not even go there. You are an oppressor. You shouldn't even visit. You're acting as an oppressor when you even step foot in that land. So don't even go there. Say goodbye to your family.
My relationships with the people closest to me, not just there, but here in Canada. I spent the past few weeks crying over witnessing horrific, heartbreaking, fucked up death and pain, but also grieving over the possibility that I may lose my relationship with my family. And there are many of us in this position, and we don't even...
Well, I mean, seriously, congratulations to Israel for getting, like, losing this idiot as a citizen.
Live there, but the poison of that incitement is affecting us as well. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be connected to it. I want you to take the time to imagine what has to happen for you to reject a citizenship and a passport. Everything that led to this decision,
seriously, like, think about how stupid you have to be. You see a country with problems, you have the tools to change it, and like, hey, I don't like this is so bad that I'm just going to give up the tools. Like you can vote, you can be a political activist. Like this lady had the tool more than us, more than me. She had the tool to the vehicles to make Israel a better country, and she gave it up, and she's complaining. Your complaint means nothing. You could have changed that country from within as a citizen, as a voter, as an activist with your Israeli citizenship. And you choose not to do that. You chose not to be an effective part of the solution. You became a nagger rather than a solver. With your citizenship, you could have been a solver, but now you just nag about it. You just complain.
The process that led to this decision was filled with pain and anger.
Wait, like, is she a Canadian now? She's a Canadian. Oh. What can we do as Canada to make you give up your Canadian citizenship as well? Can you help us out here, guys? Like, can you also give up your Canadian citizenship? Now she's just our problem. Thank you, Israel. She was just your problem. Like now she's just our problem.
What has to happen for you to reject a citizenship and a passport? Everything that led to this decision, the process that led to this decision was filled with pain and anger and grief. But this decision is necessary. I'm done. I hope that it will send a message, and I hope that other people in my position will consider doing the same.
Yes, actually, you know what? The people who are anti-Israel, you don't deserve an Israeli citizenship, okay? Maybe give up your... Yeah, actually, this is a good cleaning process, okay? People with dumb takes, you're making Israel a worse place, okay? Give up your... Yeah, the message is like... you are sending a very, very strong message. You're right. The message is that sometimes the garbage takes itself out. That's the message you're sending. So good. Sometimes it doesn't take effort to make a country a better place because it just does it itself.
When I came out of the consulate last week, a group of friends waited for me outside, and I read a statement that I wrote beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the statement available. It explains my personal trajectory, how I ended up in Israel, and how the circumstances of my arrival dictated the conditions of my life there. For those of you who are considering and want to ask me questions about the process of renunciation, you can find me. Thank you for watching.
Yep. Can you please do this for Canada as well? Guys, make that free. Why did she have to pay $140? Oh, wow. We got a lot of super chats. Thank you, guys. Let me just read the super chat. I had a couple of things that Susanna sent me that I wanted to really highlight today, but I can't now because we're already over an hour. I'll make sure I'll do it next time. I should have done those at the beginning. I'll do that next time. Okay, so Benny, thank you so much for the super chat saying, do you have an official written source for your definition of Zionism? My partner supports Israel, but not idea of a Jewish religious state. Help. Jewish religious state. I don't support a Jewish religious state. I think Israel needs to become more and more secular. Secularism is a spectrum, and I wish Israel was. I celebrate Israel's secularism, but I want it to become even more secular than it is right now. Like it's not, it's on the spectrum of secularism. It's better than almost every country in that region, but compared to other countries, it could do a lot better, right? So no, I don't support Israel being a Jewish religious state at all. Zionism, from the very foundation, Zionism was a secular movement. I mean, go look at the founders of the Zionism. They were pretty secular, if not anti-religious, even seems that sometimes. But again, Zionism means a lot of different things to many different people. But based on me I went to Israel, I talked to a lot of Zionists, and they had different ideas for what Zionism is. But so I decided that the best definition for Zionism is the common denominator. What do they all share? Because the things that are different between them, that cannot be part of the definition of Zionism. Only the part that they all share could be the definition of Zionism. So what they all shared was the acknowledgement that Israel should be a country, and it has a right to defend itself. So as long as you say Israel should be a country, has the right to be a country, and should remain a country, that is Zionism. The reason why I say that's the definition of Zionism is because that's the only thing they all shared. That's the only common view they all share. From the worst takes on Zionism to the best takes on Zionism, from the fascistic ones to the liberal ones, that's the only thing that every single one of them shared. And that's why the definition of Zionism will be that. Because you cannot make the definition of Zionism things that they disagree on. Does that make sense? For why that should be the definition of Zionism? If you think Israel should be a country, you're a Zionist. And that's why I call myself a Zionist as well. Right. Does that make sense, guys? Does my definition make sense? Because I think I have the best definition based on what I said. All right. So, Mars, thank you so much for the super chat, $20 super chat. Well, thank you so much, Mars, being very generous. When I was in Israel, we visited Galilee Medical Center, where Jews, Muslims, Christians gathered to provide medical care for all, including Syrian refugees. This woman has no idea what she's talking about. Exactly. That's exactly what I saw in Israel as well. In Israel, when you're in Tel Aviv, nobody gives a crap if you're an Arab or Jew. People can't even tell the difference between who's an Arab or who's Jew, and they don't even care. People are just like living side by side in peace, in friendship, in harmony. And it's just a few bad actors that come and sometimes they do something and make the situation very tense. But usually people are just living side by side with no care about who's an Arab, who's a Jew. Okay, let's go to the next super chat. Next super chat by Elf X28. Thank you so much. A super sticker. Where is the super sticker here? I can't see it. I don't know what it was. Sorry, I missed it. Okay, but it is a super sticker. So thank you for that. Guys, we got so many super chats and super stickers today, which is good because we were demonetized. So let's do that one. Atheist Gamer saying, modestly supporting the best channel. Well, thank you. Thank you, Atheist Gamer. I appreciate for calling us the best channel. We are the best channel. We are. I'm going to take that. I'm going to accept that. And Benny Wolf is saying, thank you, Armin. Love to hear about the settlements. Yes, I am going to at some point maybe find. There's a good video on Instagram that I could use as an excuse to talk about the settlements. I mean, I did a huge stream on this on the Persian channel, which I have to now go to get ready for that. Guys, make sure you like the stream. We did so good. Even though we had a connection problem in the middle, we recovered fast, and we slapped some sense into a lot of nonsense that we saw on TikTok and Instagram. Oh, that last one was, by the way, from Instagram. That lady that just gave up her citizenship, her account is Benivula, Benivuula. And we saw a lot of crap, a lot of nonsense, and we made some sense out of all that nonsense. We did a good job. Thank you guys for being here. And I'm going to talk to Dolly so that when I'm talking, she could highlight your comments. So your comments will get highlighted on the screen in the future streams more often. So I'll be in touch with her, see if she's into she would be interested in doing that modestly. Okay, thank you. I saw that. You correct. Thank you for the super chats. But guys, even if you, first of all, nobody is allowed to support us financially. There's a lot of ways for you to support us financially. Super chat memberships, super stickers. There's a PayPal. You could become a monthly donor on PayPal. There's Patreon. You can support us that way. But nobody is allowed to support us financially if they're struggling financially. Only people who are financially secure are allowed to support us financially. Other people, there's so many other ways you can support us. You could like the stream. You could, once the stream is over, you could leave a comment. Guys, you leave a comment, okay? Those comments really help us grow the channel. You could make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Guys, if you are subscribed but have not hit the bell notification, that doesn't really do much, because when we go live, YouTube will not tell you that we're live. You have to hit the bell notification to make sure that you are there when we go live. And also, the most important thing you could do, this will take more effort, but it's really helpful, really helps us out, and it doesn't cost you anything. You could go tell people that they need to subscribe to this channel. If they want to, in this world that liberalism is now under attack, we need defenders of liberalism. And this channel is doing such a good job in defending liberal values. So I need you guys to go tell people to come and subscribe here, okay? Please go ahead and do that. Oh, and we got another super chat. Well, thank you. Cleo saying, off topic, but did you hear about the UK Parliament? No, is this just recently happened? I've been sick and I've been a little bit behind news, so I'm going to go check that out right now. But thank you for... When did this happen? Did this happen like just in a few hours ago? Because I was getting ready for the Persian show. Oh, guys, by the way, if you don't know, right after the English show, I do a Persian show. And with people, 80% of our audience of our Persian channel is in Iran. So if you speak Persian, the Persian channel is called Jamhuriye Bi Khodayan, which is basically the Persian version of this channel. So I was getting ready for that because I'm doing a huge topic right now today on the Persian show. And I was getting ready for that to see what's going on with that. So I'm a little bit behind on the news. But I'll go check it out. Anyways, guys, don't forget to like. Thank you for being here. See you on the next stream. Bye. Mwah.